it's how do you deal with a lot of the management for a number of the clusters in Fort Lincoln is not responsive. How do you as ANC commissioner help fight back in, or I don't want to use the term fight, how do we build a better process going forward and citizens in these communities are more engaged and involved, and the management company is truly responsive to the citizen group? So it'll be Ms. Robinson, Ms. Redden, and Ms. Manning. 1 minute, like, or as fast as you can. It's I'm sorry, it's for well, it's both the overall Fort Lincoln and then I mean, it's sort of like all you clusters have to get along. And if you're not, then it makes life living here not as fun.
I need more clarification on that because each cluster has its own management company. So I think that question needs to be the way you're framing it. It's like suggesting that we have one company for the whole thing. That's not the way it is.
Is it fair to say some management cluster management might be less responsive than others?
Yes, that's
because obviously the question came up.
Because it's true, because each condo management company handles things differently. And it's really up to that particular cluster, if you will, or condo association, as I know it. They're the ones who have the authority to bring in the management company who they want to manage their property under a board of directors.
So I'm going to rephrase the question to be, how can ANC in general and then ANC commissioners help provide an environment to provide technical assistance where it's needed for people to better be represented and represent themselves with regard to kind of, I guess, condo associations, HOAs. I've never lived in one, so I'm a little.
Okay, so I understand how you're framing that question. It's not really a good question. Right. It is what it is.
Okay. Well,
so yeah, what are the Ms. Robinson?
Well, yeah, some people think that their building management is uncooperative and they need help. So how do we help them? How's that?
No, that's not good either, because that sounds like somebody who's not involved. If you don't go to your annual meetings, if you don't get involved in what's going on in your cluster or association, then you're going to feel like that. That's where a little bit of power still remains, not a little bit, because each association has the power to do whatever it is that they want to do with their property.
The question is going to be directed to the two people who are running for office.
You know, you have situations where we have institutions that are run by people who unintendedly do things that cause bad stuff for everybody. Okay? So they may want to do something that's good, and they take some action, but you have bad outcomes. So that's why it's good to have people like these three ladies who see the problems and want to fix the problems. But you got people who are moving forward together in different lanes, like in a race, right? We're all trying to do good things. Some of us are just average performers, but we're good people. You have other people who are better performers, and you can see it. They're very good at what they do, But then you have excellent people. The issues that we have in our community is saying, well, who are all the good people? Are they high performance people, medium performance people, or incompetent? Right? So that's what I like to say.
Well, I think we're not going to do this question.
We might want to.
Stop. Yeah, we're not doing that question. We're moving on.
Excuse me, can I just say one quick thing? In our condominium association at the time that we really got fed up because the board kept doing things that were contrary to the union owners, we found it organized and we voted them out of office. Now, whether or not it's doing it any better or not, but at least we now know, and anybody that gets on the board, that we're going to give you X amount of time, and if you don't straighten up, then we have to use our powers as unit owners to vote you out. So we always have that privilege.
The community wants to have the power. They can, I mean, they vote.
Okay. We're skipping that question, and I'm just going to throw out.
I would like to speak to the question.
Very quickly, because we're cutting into our time.
Sometimes people are elected to positions for which they're not qualified. And when people are elected to positions for which they're not qualified, there are any number of nonprofit service providers in the city and in the region that can come and take you through. This is business training. This is business training that you need to go through, corporate training. And once you get the training, then some people start trying to realize it's not something that they really want to do. So that's one way to handle that situation. If a person has a desire but does not have the expertise, is to help that person get the expertise that they need. So if you find a person that really wants to serve, they get the expertise then. Yeah.
This is in the previous panel we talked about the transportation issue and seniors, and so someone else submitted a question relating to that. So about how to assist people. Your thoughts on the same question about how to help ensure equity and people being able to get around, not just within Fort Lincoln and nearby, but even to other city events. And so I think it's Ms. Manning and then Ms. Robinson.
That's a good question. As you know, MV Transportation moved to the area on Adams Place. They have a new contract with Metro Access. So they have just employed over 1,000 people for transportation service throughout the city. So with those things, you will have that information set up and available of knowing, because it's supposed to, and also Metro that's coming throughout the time that, because before we had our spring break, we had Metro to come out and talk about the times that the buses were running and how they were connecting to each other, being Bladesburg Road to South Dakota Avenue, and the time that people were going out to make sure that they had the information of the new schedules. That's what's supposed to happen. Also, we're fortunate to have the Ward 5 Seabury seniors. They work with the seniors as well to get that information out. I am surprised to know that Dawn Cordovon has not been to any of your board meetings or to the Civic Association, because she is the director of that, and they give out the different information of what they have to offer to the community, and they have a Ward 5 representative.
Well, it was my understanding that Seabury was supposed to have a contract to get vans for seniors, but my concern also is with the Washington Metropolitan Area Transit, who engages these contracts for the seniors. I think it's important that they get vendors who are really going to serve the seniors, and not have the seniors wait to, like the reputation that Metro Access had. You know, you might wait for Metro Access 3 or 4 hours. And I know in particular that they were thinking about letting taxi cab drivers take over some of the contracts with Metro Access. But they need to be really vetted properly in order for this to be successful.
I'm going to throw this out. This is just a point. Probably in the city, nobody writes more about parks planning and transportation planning than me. And my big thing, and it's really probably a need in this part of Ward 5, because it's so dispersed, are jitneys. They're, you know, basically shared taxi services. And maybe there's an opportunity again, you know, with the revitalized ANC 5C to move that kind of agenda forward. In the interest of time, I mean, I could ask more questions. I think you've all made your positions pretty clear, but instead of me asking more questions and getting close to the time, how about you each get 3 minutes for wrap up? Or unless there are more questions from Ms.
I submitted a question because, and you didn't get to my question, so I would publicly ask the question. First, I would like just simply to make a comment that I attended a meeting yesterday, and people in attendance at the meeting, especially the seniors at the Petersburg building, were instructed to protest voting for any new candidates running for ANC to stick with the current.
Who did that instruction?
That was Bob King.
Yeah.
Well,
now,
those type of people.
Remember, we're asking questions to the candidates.
I was simply appalled by it, but that's my opinion. So my question to each one of the candidates would be, what are you going to do? Are you going to continue doing the same old thing, the same old way? Because, I mean, even big business, it can be working, but we all have to go through a reorganization. And I'm looking for someone to come in here with not their own personal agenda and to be inclusive with me. It doesn't matter if I'm a renter, if I'm a homeowner, but the point that I'm making is that I'm going to sit down. It was outrageous because when you have someone tell you how to vote, to hold the ballot, to read the names on the ballot, and still not include everybody, and to tell you that I'm always going to be commissioner up here. And I'm not standing up here blowing wind. It was being videotaped.
Miss, I think you made your position really clear. I think it's pretty clear how the people here.
Richard, could we not make speeches and ask questions to the candidates on that? Okay.
The question is, we'll talk about that after this. That doesn't fit in the questions. It's really important. How do you ensure a real democracy in all the clusters in Fort Lincoln? And I guess the one question I have is what meaning that was and why it wasn't equal. But we're going to go to the wrap. So I'm sorry, I do want to see the flyer, but in your forbearance, okay. Yeah, we have to wrap this up. I sure would hate to be asked for an endorsement because you're all great. And we would all like to hear your wrap up. So like 3 minutes each. And then we have to go. We could go longer, obviously.
The meeting yesterday that was referenced was the ANC boundaries changes to the redistricting. But unfortunately, the meeting did not involve any of the redistricting, with the exception of me passing out the new redistricting maps and some other literature. I was very, very appalled and upset at the behavior of one of the commissioners. and with him just basically telling people who to vote for. I was, yes, and when he said that the new candidates need to earn a place in the community. And he told them to vote in protest. Don't vote for anybody. Because if you can't vote for him, don't vote for anybody. And personally, that is voter suppression.
No argument there. So 2-minute wrap up. Other stuff you want to say about?
I just want to give my community involvement. I've been with Community Justice Advisory Network since 2003. I've also been with the DC Professional Taxicab Drivers Association since 1996. I was with the Future of Eastern High School, the program advisory team involved in the course selections, requesting a feasibility study for the International Baccalaureate program, and community principal forums for the selection of the new principal associated with the relaunching, excuse me, of Eastern High School. I participated in the Alumni Interactive Mentors Incorporated, mentoring the students who remained at Eastern until 2010. I'm also a graduate of Eastern High School in 1966. I'm with the Eastern High School Alumni Association. I'm the Assistant Vice President for Alumni Affairs and Fundraising. And I also attended the Passport to Summer Learning Forum with DCPS and the Food Seminar. I have a granddaughter who attends Layman Educational Campus. I also was with the Washington Interfaith Network with the Nehemiah Project for Housing, and I've also been involved with the Office of Tenant Advocate. And you said we only had 2 minutes. So the only thing else that I can really say about me that I also have been involved with, when Mark Clark was at WAMU, I was on his radio station a lot of times with taxicab customers. And I also was with the Boys of the DC Taxicab Drivers that was on WOL every Sunday morning, every Sunday at 7 o'clock. I was one of the commentators there. So if you want change, you want something different, I understand this is a new ANC, but I intend to serve the constituents and the citizens of Ward 5, Single Member District 5, CO4. My name is Carolyn Robinson. I'm number 1 on your ballot. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Manning?
Jacqueline Manning, currently chair of 5B and the single member district representative 5B09 that was switched over to 5C04. As I stated before, my work in the community will transition from the Arboretum Gateway to Fort Lincoln as well, because each community is different. We're uniquely different, and that's what makes it great about us, but we will be compared the same. I will be at every meeting that you have. I will address the issues that you currently have. It's unfortunate that the issue about the light that's there between 3001 that has not been changed. I will call Mr. Bellamy tomorrow and make sure that light is put there as the woman requested. I do not agree with anyone telling someone how to vote. That's your individual opinion, how you vote, and your thought process of what makes it different in the community. Because regardless of whether I win this election or not, I still live in Ward 5. I'm a Ward 5 resident. I continue to be involved in my community because I have a stake and I'm invested in this community, and I plan to be just as well healthy and rested as you all as senior citizens. And I believe that. I truly believe that this position is not about, it's not a power struggle. It's about dedication to where you live. And you have to have that. This is not about who you know, it's about getting the job done. It's about knowing that you matter in Ward 5. Not only that, our mayor is saying that we're supposed to be one city. We have to force his hand on that to continue to make sure that he understands that you do not overlook Ward 5, because we were the ones that carried him into this election. So you have to make sure that your voices are heard at the poll, and thank you so much for the opportunity.
Privilege to be here tonight, and to listen to all three of you. And whoops, no, she had
Go
some of you have easy choice, some of you have a difficult one. So, but hopefully going forward, your neighborhood will have better representation in any case. And we're all here to help work on it. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.